the Trump World painting was a painting that's now already, my goodness gracious, about 2 or 3 years old, which it's still very strong in my mind. It was a major statement that I made after a series of paintings that were based on New York City subway performers, and then finally Times Square and New York City, and the United States as expressed by Times Square as a metaphor. By that, what I mean is that the actual visual appearance of Times Square is really a metaphor for the United States. It's filled with enormous corporate promotional signs that are like one competing with the other. And a lot of them are animated. Now they move, they're full color, they're 25, 50 times life size. People go and from all over the world, and they get a dose of the United States, and they feel like they finally in the United States when they're in Times Square, which is a joke to New Yorkers because we hardly ever go to Times Square except if we have to pass through it. The character of Donald J. Trump appeared on the American scene, and he started running for president. And then some of the people in Times Square started dressing up with huge Trump heads because Trump, with his orange hair, who was a reality star at the time and not really a politician, was all of a sudden an incredibly interesting character in politics. And his campaigning was also taking place partially in Times Square. So I depicted, when I did Trump World, a picture of an Uncle Sam parading through Times Square, holding on to 3 enormous balloons, one of which Donald Trump's head is on. And his head dominates and exemplifies the subject matter of the rest of the painting, all the contradictions that are in the painting. You know, the corporate stuff especially is symbolic, and he is really representative of the corporate. He's also representative of something that was anti-subcorporate. You know, you know, so the whole thing kind of came together as a kind of a grand statement of American life at the time it was painted.